how a trip begins. For a trip begins with a traveler, and a traveler begins with an idea. The biblical Negev desert of Israel. The past meets the present at Beersheba, an oasis town where Bedouin tribesmen quietly slip in from the desert for water and food. One of the wells of Abraham remains, according to tradition, at Beersheba, the watering place in the Negev desert. Much further north, a shepherd tends his flock. Only the shepherd, the sheep, and the wind wander across the land where Samson and Delilah lived part of their tragic love. For here stood the city of Ashkelon, one of the eastern Mediterranean's greatest ports, the city Anthony gave to Cleopatra, a spot for the historian and the archaeologist. Among the crumbled remains and the dust of the ruins, Roman statues, Greek granite, and Egyptian marble reflect the parade of men and of history. To the east is Jerusalem, the city of David, where Solomon built his temple, where Jesus met with his disciples, a city sacred to Christian, Jew, and Muslim. Jerusalem is in Judea, where Herod was king and ordered the massacre of Bethlehem's infants to safeguard his power. But only Herod's tomb with its useless entrance stone recalls the once mighty ruler. The catacombs of the Sanhedrin near Jerusalem were the burial places of the high judges of ancient Israel. Akko on the blue Mediterranean was a main travel route between Europe and Asia. A minaret recalls its many invasions by the Muslim Saracens. In northern Israel, Elijah's statue stands atop Mount Carmel, where the prophet defeated the pagan priests of Baal. Among the little villages of Galilee is Nazareth, whose narrow streets have changed but little in the 2,000 years since a carpenter named Joseph worked here, and a mother named Mary fetched water for him and for her son. The stream of life flows gently on in Nazareth, and the water gently flows at Mary's well. From the highlands, the river Jordan runs strong and quiet to the beautiful Sea of Galilee. Galilee fishermen launch out into the deep like the fishermen who followed him. Cana is the city where Jesus performed his first miracle, changing water into wine at a wedding feast. Many footsteps have worn a path toward the place where a multitude once followed Jesus. There was a boy among them with 5 birds and 2 fishes. Jesus took them and distributed them to the multitude as much as they wanted. And afterwards the disciples filled 12 baskets with the fragments of 5 loaves and 2 fishes. In Capernaum lie the ruins of the synagogue where he preached, where he lived, and where he ministered, where the past mingles with the present, and where yesterday meets today and awaits tomorrow. Today in Israel means modern cities standing where a few years ago only empty land. Today in Israel means bustling activity, a young nation in vigorous growth. And today means people, the Israeli and the new settlers. Jerusalem's King David Hotel is world-renowned, and spacious new hotels are springing up. On the site where Solomon and the Queen of Sheba spent their honeymoon now stands an ultra-modern example of 20th century living. Luxurious swimming pools are a feature of the new hotels. This seaside resort boasts a big hotel, a big pool, and a small bather. Amid the sun and sea of Israel's Mediterranean Riviera, there's an international atmosphere and an international cuisine. Israel's sparkling Mediterranean coast stretches for 110 miles. Soft, sandy beaches compete with a foam-flecked sea. The water is warm and clear. And like every beach everywhere, the young ladies include both the very young and the very pretty. Israel today is also a hard-working land. New apartments must be built, entire new residential cities developed to house the tremendously expanding population. In less than 10 years after Israel became a state, the population has tripled and is growing still. Haifa on the Mediterranean, Israel's fastest growing city, reflects this energy and will. This is the country's biggest port and Israel's largest industrial center. Industry shows here on the piers, in new tires ready to roll, in tobacco, curing in the friendly sun. The tobacco industry is modest but expanding and is complete to the finished cigarette. Modern industry began in this land only in the 1930s. Its remarkable growth testifies to the vigor of Israel's most valuable resource, her people. The food industry is the biggest. Candy is one of the products exported to the United States. Near ancient Ashkelon is a throbbing industry. Water pipes are busily turned out here with a constant demand from mushrooming communities. Machinery for her farms is all important to Israel's economy, for it is the good earth yielding the rich bounty of nature that feeds nearly 2 million people. Rural life is unique in Israel. This is a kibbutz, a communal farm cooperative run by and for its members. They vote on the duties of each worker, govern themselves, provide medical facilities and education for the young. The kibbutzniks, as they are called, come from every corner of the earth. A big kibbutz may support 2,000 members, not counting kibbutzniks with feathers. Another type project is the children's villages, where youngsters live and study together and also receive training in agriculture or other vocations. Newcomers to Israel quickly become, because 85% of its citizens were born somewhere else, almost all are beginning anew together. Time when the flowers blaze on the hills, the schools of Israel send there to contribute their talents to the growth of the land. The Israeli come from 75 nations, but each of them has something to give. With mind, with skill, with heart. It was the poignant beauty of Israel, nature working her magic, that drew one group, the artists. They established a colony amid tranquil scenery at Safad and another at Ein Hod. To many men, statesmen, thinkers, homeless Jews, Israel has beckoned through the mists of time. Baron Rothschild, who helped colonize Israel, now rests here. And so does Theodor Herzl, the Hungarian writer, who dedicated his life to Zionism. For everyone in Israel, yesterday is never far away. But today is making new history in Israel. Every harvest adds a page. And when the fields bestow their treasures, the people celebrate Shavuot, the feast of the first fruits, a time of festival throughout the nation. Shavuot also marks the day the 10 Commandments were handed down. The offerings are a rich sampling of what the land can produce. And though the givers may be small, their hearts are overflowing. To the music of their friends, everybody dances the hora, the national folk dance. And perhaps this is where today approaches tomorrow. For the happy people who celebrate the harvest now will also create the harvests of the future and shape whatever destiny awaits tomorrow in Israel.
Hey, hey,